It's been a few months now since I presented my first panel on VTubing 101 and content creation at a local anime convention, all while cosplaying as my VTuber. I wanted to focus today on the content creation part of VTubing, as content creation and basically advertising your VTuber can really make or break your career as a VTuber. Now, without too much dilly-dally, I'm going to go ahead and just get into it. My name is Usaumi. I'm a fairly new VTuber, and welcome! The first thing that we're going to talk about is creating a persona. So what is a persona exactly? A persona is how you depict your character, as in your VTuber, to viewers, and pretty much anyone who comes across your videos. Now, it is so important for you to actually make a persona. You might find it a little bit embarrassing and a little bit out of your comfort zone, but I promise you that it is something that is fundamental and absolutely necessary. You might be asking why. Well, think about this, for example. Think of your favorite content creator or a really famous content creator, and how do you perceive them? When I personally think of Markiplier, I think of someone who is very bubbly, high energy, and is incredibly loud. So that's how I view Markiplier, and that's a type of persona that he has. You have to keep in mind that your persona and you are not the same person. So you inherently are not going to be your VTuber. Your VTuber is going to be an extension of you. So something that's really important, I'm going to go ahead and scooch on out of here so you can actually read this. So why create a persona? It is going to be to connect with your target audience, which is a really fancy word, but in reality, you just want to be able to connect with people that you vibe with, people that you want on your streams, people you want interacting with your videos. You obviously don't want to attract the wrong crowd necessarily, so that's why you want to have a persona. Your persona is not you, it is going to be an extension of you. You get to pick out the best part, craft it as you please, or you can really just pick out the worst parts of yourself if that's what you really wanted. Now, what is really important for me personally is that your persona will give you guidance on how to act and what content to make. For example, we're going to dissect me, Usaumi, as a VTuber, and I'm going to describe to you what my persona is and how I crafted Usaumi. She is chaotic and unhinged. She is slightly unpredictable. And she doesn't have a regular type of humor. I wanted her to have a dark sense of humor just because of her color. She's really pastel, she's really cute. So I thought it'd be a really fun twist for her to have a very dark sense of humor. And admittedly, I did want to create her to be a little dumb. Once again, these are the attributes that make up Usaumi and some of her personas, just to kind of scratch basically the surface of how I created her. Now, this is really important because when I was ready to do a giveaway video, this gave me guidance on how to approach making the video. Basically, instead of being a, hey guys, I'm doing a giveaway, I did not end up choosing that, and instead I kept all these things in mind. That being said, now that you know her personality and thinking, how would Usaumi do an announcement? Well, let me show you the answer.
Do you also have a very low regard for your safety and well-being? Me too! Then give me your address. Okay, it might not be the best way to announce a giveaway.
Now, with a clear guidance of how Usaumi is, I was able to embody her persona and create a video that, in my opinion, was very engaging and reached exactly the type of people that I wanted interacting with my videos and interacting with me in general. If you ever are in a slump, especially when you're creating content, you have to ask yourself, how would X do this? What type of video would your VTuber do, or your persona? Something really important to keep in mind with content is that you really want to make a large amount of content. You want to make very diverse content at first before you really find your own personal niche. And mainly it's because you're barely starting out. You really want people to get to know your personality, so it's a really good way to just, at first, in my personal opinion, do story times, and especially if you have like a particular problem that you find amusing or you feel like you did something funny, I really recommend that you record it, edit it, and put it out for people to see. And the video that I'm about to show you, I embodied once again my VTuber, and I did something a little dumb, and I got a huge kick out of it. And I was thinking, like, maybe I should make a video on it. I mean, why not? And here is the end result.
Could anyone please explain to me why my brain works like this? Someone followed me on X, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I could totally be besties with this person. And instead of doing the normal thing, which would be sending them a DM, being like, hey, new bestie, how are you? I go and create a list that says, peoples to kidnap, and I add them to that list. And you know what? I'm not blocked yet, so maybe this might end up being a win. I'm gonna make a bunch more lists, so if you want to be added to a list, just go follow me on X and let's see what lists you end up in.
Before we get into the general tips that I'm going to share with you, I really want to touch up on that video that you just watched. So some really important key points that I want you to notice from that video is that, one, I had maybe about 5 followers on X, and I ended up with over 100 because of that video. And here are some key points that I want you to notice, even if you have to go back and rewatch it. When I edited that video, it was a very fast-paced video. I talked a little bit faster if you couldn't tell, but I made sure to pick music that kind of really fit that vibe. And if you didn't notice, I was actually in my PNG tuber form. So don't think that just because you're a PNG tuber, or you might not even have a VTuber or a PNG tuber, it doesn't mean that you can't create content, especially content that isn't engaging. That video had a lot of traction. And like I said, not only did I get a lot of followers on X, I also had a lot of engagement on TikTok, which is something that I'm so grateful for. I'm going to go into some general tips. So create different types of content like I mentioned, but something that really you have to keep in mind is that you have to create content that you enjoy. And trust me, people will notice if you are making content that you do not enjoy. Mainly because subconsciously you're not going to edit it as well, you're not going to put as much effort as you would with content that you genuinely enjoy. And sure, you might not get a lot of traction or a lot of interactions on certain videos, but that's just part of the process. Okay, so right here, this is another thing that's super important, is that you absolutely need to interact with other fellow content creators and streamers, pretty much anyone who falls under the same umbrella as you do. And I really do recommend interacting with them pretty much through any platform that you use. See them as peers and fellow co-workers in a sense. So other content creators are going to support you more than some of your followers at first. There are so many content creators on TikTok that I know every single time that I post a video, they're gonna like said video, they're gonna repost said video, and comment on said video. And again, they're not even necessarily just regular followers, they're other fellow content creators. You really do want to interact, do the same thing with all of these fellow content creators. What I like to personally do is whenever I'm on TikTok, I do like to spend at least 15 minutes on the tab that's for friends. I like to scroll through it and do the exact same thing that other people do for me. I like their content, I comment, I repost, I try to give that interaction back with them because I really do want everyone else around me to succeed equally as much as I want to succeed. So for streamers, if you have streamed before in the past and you have had 0 views, it is absolutely disheartening. It is something that feels horrible, and it's something that you also have to keep in mind is absolutely normal. However, I do not want this to discourage you if you have 0 views on your stream on any platform. Instead, what I really want you to do is I want you to treat your streams as a let's play for YouTube. And I need you to record every single one of your streams. I want you to interact and talk as much as possible as if there were multiple people watching you. And the reason you want to do this is to create content from it. Again, do not let this discourage you. It's something that everyone goes through. So, a quick reminder for all of you. Even if you don't have a VTuber, even if you don't show your face yet or have anything to represent you on the screen, that does not mean that you cannot create content. You can absolutely create content no matter what. There are so many YouTubers and content creators who make content and were successful and are successful without showing their faces. So early YouTube era, I can think of Venos, H2O Delirious, people like that who, before we associated them with their GTA characters, we had nothing to go off of other than their voices and their personalities. So don't let this discourage you. I know that VTubing and having a PNG tuber showing your face is like really mainstream, but you should not let that limit you. Personally, really recommend using TikTok to post videos, really. I feel like it's an easier platform as long as your videos are edited fairly good, the content is good, and it's engaging, they will push it out. This is where that little tip about using recorded content from streams comes in. Even if you have 0 views, you can still make clips from it. You really want to be able to show your personality, as that's what the whole content creation aspect comes in play. You really want to be able to show your personality. Rude. This is where I did mention that I want you to record your content no matter what, because I want you to pick out the best clips from it and edit them nicely and post them. You want to be able to get your personality out there and who you are as a person. Now, I know that you often hear this phrase a lot, which is the post daily. And it really does make a difference, but I hate that people do not really give any examples. So I'm going to give a very clear example of what happens whenever you do post daily and you're getting interactions from said post. Now, I was very lucky early on when I first started posting TikToks. One of my TikToks did really good and I managed to get it to snowball to the point that I ended up with quite a bit of followers, which I'm so thankful for. But I'm going to show you, after I posted that TikTok, that snowball, I'm going to show you what happened whenever I tried posting daily. So as you can see right here, I have my profile from TikTok. I have at the time 42 followers. It was July 22nd, and that's what I started off with, 42 followers and 112 likes. One of my videos started doing fairly good. I was receiving about 400 to 500 views. So by July 25th, I had gone up to 217 followers and 770 likes because my previous videos were doing fairly good, but one of them popped off. It is me starting my first stream, which I will show later, but that video in a matter of 3 days went from 21 views to 5,000 views. And let me go ahead and show you a couple days later. By July 26th, I had 272 followers. That video amassed 6,000 likes, and I had a total of over 1,000 likes at this point, so I'm going to keep going. Again, by July 7th, I had 906 followers, over 3,400 likes. By July 8th, I had over 1,010 followers. So keep in mind that this is in about a month's period worth of time. Analytics for this whole month, so you can just kind of get an idea as to what they look like. You can see that most of my traffic actually came for the For You page because every single video I was adding the For You hashtag. Some of them did come from searches, which I'm not really sure how since I was like barely brand new, but overall I did get my first 1,000 followers in a matter of 1 month. So to recap, one of my videos did very good and I managed to get it to snowball into something bigger and bigger every single day or every few days because I was creating content, posting it that same day and trying to post daily. So this is why posting daily matters, is because you will see growth, especially if you have a video that's doing fairly good. Now, here are my personal tips for TikTok whenever it comes to posting videos on there. I do really recommend to use trendy or popular music, especially the sounds or skits that they have on there. but I really do not recommend only posting them. You will see that your videos will thrive if you post something that is trendy, like a skit. You might see that you do get a lot of interaction from the videos where you do use trendy noises, skits, or music, but I really don't recommend only posting with these, mainly because your goal as a VTuber is to get out your personality, your persona. It's to market that. And if you're only making small little reels with music, with those noises, you're not really showing your personality. Instead, you're just kind of following the trend, which is okay because it will boost. You want to do a combination of both, is what I recommend. You want to be able to create your own original content, as well as a little bit of a mix of whatever's trendy. I don't know what it is, but the current trendy music and noises really scratch a very particular part of people's brains, and you really will see people interact with those videos a lot more sometimes than your original content, which do not discourage from that. That is so normal. And whenever finding trendy music and sounds, is I personally like to just scroll through TikTok, but I don't like to really watch the content of the video currently. I instead just like to listen to the, I like to listen to the sounds and the music, and I just try to brainstorm and see what I could use with stuff that I have pre-recorded, or think of what scenario applies to me that I could kind of introduce myself into. So think of how you can use those music and trendy noises to your advantage without necessarily copying other creators. Kind of piggyback off, but don't copy. Now I'm going to show you the video that I had shown you, got me most of my followers, and what I was able to get to snowball. Now this video I think only did fairly good, again, because of the trendy noise that it had at the time. So go ahead and watch it.
I'm so happy! I'm so sad!
And something again to keep in mind is that you can create content, you can have someone or yourself edit it beautifully, and you might think it's the funniest thing in the world, and it will not do good. That video that you watched previously has about 40,000 views on it, and it is so simple. It's only a couple of seconds. And now I'm going to make you watch a video that I think was edited beautifully by my editor. So quick shout out to Bubwinga. He hand selected all of the faces on there and edited them perfectly to match my reactions. I mean, he did such a bang up job, and I thought it was such a funny video. Spoiler alert, it did not do that good when I first posted it. I think it had less than 500 views. So I'm gonna let you watch that real quick.
Are you good at FNAF? No, I'm not. I'm not good at FNAF. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear as I was saying before. I was rudely interrupted. Are you good at FNAF? No, I'm not. Stop doing that! Minecraft! Stop Minecraft! It's you! You're the one that's doing this. Oh, that's so weird. Okay, mods, do your job. Please make sure that you keep some Minecraft in check. Like, clearly, they're orchestrating something behind the scenes.
Again, in my opinion, I thought this video was going to be a hit. I thought it was really funny. The content quality, in my opinion, was pretty good. And so I posted this. It did not do good. And that's okay, because that's just how it goes. Anyways, now I'm going to show you a video that I posted. I had taken 15 minutes to make it. So edit it, record it, and make it because I just wanted something to post that day. And it did good. It somehow just did really good. And once again, it's because of the trendy audio and sound. So I'm going to make you watch that video next. The effort into some clips and it might not pan out, but that's just how it goes. Okay, so back to TikTok. I personally recommend that you have 3 neutral videos, so original content, nothing that's necessarily trendy, just saved in your folder to be able to upload whenever you can. Now, the reason I recommend this is because if one of your videos does good and you notice this, I don't want you scrambling to edit something to post the next day. Instead, you can just use some of your backed up videos. You just have to make sure that these videos that you have as backup are high quality, they're edited nicely. You don't have to put a whole lot of time to it, but like I said, you don't want to be rushing trying to edit something to post that same day. So again, when a video does good, keep it going. Post again the next day and the next day, because it will bring people into your page. People will click on your profile and see what other things you have posted. If you do not post, that momentum is going to die. So into something a little more entertaining, we're going to go into my unethical marketing tips. So I recommend people to be the worst version of themselves because it is entertaining. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and be racist, be hateful. I'm just saying to be the most chaotic, most unhinged versions of yourself. And listen to your intrusive thoughts. I'm telling you, your intrusive thoughts can have some really good ideas because that's how I get most of my content actually is my intrusive thoughts. Now, I'm not saying go stick a fork into an outlet. I'm just saying be unhinged, listen to your unhinged intrusive thoughts. And are you having a manic episode? No, that's a creative episode. That's how I got into going in person and presenting a panel is because I was having a creative episode, and boy howdy did I. Now, gaslight yourself is a really, really important part of being a VTuber, and it's something that you're gonna have to do. So as like any sane person would, you probably hate listening to your voice whenever you watch your content, and that's normal. So this is where gaslighting comes in. I really recommend that you gaslight yourself into thinking, that voice? Nah, that's not me. That's my VTuber. And that's how I got over listening to my videos almost immediately. I was like, nah, that's Usaumi. That's not my voice. That's Usaumi's voice. And something really important that I'm just going to go ahead and branch off and say that's not an unethical marketing tip is you need to rewatch your videos. You need to rewatch your content. I don't care how much you cringe. I don't care how much you hate it. You have to, because especially whenever it comes to puppeteering your VTuber, you need to learn how to act. You need to know how to move. You need to see what's entertaining or what you didn't like. I rewatched my first couple of streams, and I remember that I fixed a lot of stuff that I was doing. I was being like, you know, you have to do it. You just have to. So gaslight yourself if you have to. Now, my other unethical marketing tip is start beef. Yeah, start beef with other fellow content creators. But like the first part says, read the vibe. Start beef with other fellow content creators who won't actually hate you, who won't actually feel like you're really beefing with them. So I'm going to give you a quick example of that. Right here, I have, I wonder if this is kind of doxing him. I guess not. It's okay. Here is my friend. His name is Mr. Bread99. And every single time I post content, I know for a fact he's gonna like the video. I know he's gonna probably repost the video maybe. But what's he gonna do? He is going to post an emoji of bread every single time. And what happens if I post back another bread emoji? He replies with another bread emoji, and we can literally fill our entire comment sections with just bread emojis. So what did I do? I started beef. So that's how we became friends and rivals, and I have beef with him. Much so that whenever I created an engaging list, I created a Google Drive document. of people who I would slide a crisp $100 bill to if I ever became famous. But I kept our beef going because it said Google Drive document, which I'm sure you can find a link below. Instead of giving him money or unlimited bread or artisanal bread, he would get an invoice from me for emotional distress. Now, I wish we could pause for questions and I could actually ask y'all questions, but it's a video. It's a video. Anyways, and I cannot remember any of the questions that were asked during the panel, honestly. So do drop down below your questions that you may have, and I will try to answer them to the best of my abilities. And give yourselves a quick round of applause because you survived! Yay! You did it! Congratulations! In my panel, I gave out a literal license that certified people as like internet gremlins, like something like that. So I wish I could give you a license that said that, but again, it's a video. It's a video. What do you expect from me? But yeah, man, I'm so busy today and I decided to film this. Such is life. Alright, bye!